I want to make a little, like a little billboard and a stage. So I'm going to go into the modeling mode. So I'll just click down modeling mode in our overview. And there's a spot where I think I can set where this gets saved. New asset location. I want, what's my current folder? So I went into our assets and into meshes. So that's our current folder. And I want these to get generated into there. So current folder. And I'm going to make a static mesh and let's see what we got. So that's a 1 by 1 cube. Um, let's go with a width of, let's say 3 meters, so 300. Okay, so width is in that direction. So I'm going to just spin around into that direction. So a width of 300, a depth of like 20 maybe only. So it's a little skinnier. That looks good. And a height of, let's go 3 meters tall. So that looks like a pretty good height for a billboard, right? It'll give us when we're in here um, something to look at, right? And let's let's accept that. Okay, and then I want to create another one, and it's going to be 3 meters wide. It's going to be maybe only 20 depth, and it's going to have a depth of 3 meters. And I'm going to place it. I'm going to place it right at the center line of that one. Okay, I'm going to accept that. So that looks pretty good. Um, can I apply a material to that here? Yeah, world grid material. Do we have something that's just in our normal? What's X-ray? Oh, that's fancy. Let's. I'd like to just have something that looks um, something that looks reasonable here. Um, pause. Well, you guys can, if you're watching, you get to um, find a material that you want, anyways, I guess, or create one. Maybe we should just create one. Let's go into our content browser under materials. Let's make a new material. And this one's going to be called an M underscore, and it's just going to be our overview. Um, it's like the station, right? Overview item. Okay, so let's go into there and let's see. We want it to be opaque, I guess, and it's going to be a surface. And I want a color of, maybe I want some transparency now. So I'll just do a 3 vector and I'm going to plug that into here. And I'm going to double click and make something that I like, something that will be a reasonable color, maybe darken that up a little bit more saturated. That looks nice. I say okay to that and save that. And if I go back to my overview map with both of these selected, and if I type in here overview item, isn't that just perfect? Okay, so there's our little display, and I'd like to connect these together so that they're a single unit. And under mesh, union, the selected meshes, I think that's all I want to do. I'm going to push it. And not knowing anything else, I'm going to just accept it. Perfect. I would like I'm going to move the widgety thing here. I want it to be basically on the ground so I can snap it to the surface easier. So I'm going to go into my transform conversions and transform the selected mesh. I want to edit the pivot. And so here I'm going to grab this and I want to put it right at 0. I think 0 is at its base. Yeah. And I think it could be in the center. That's fine. But at its base, and we'll accept that. And we can save. So now we have this object. And if I go to my content browser, we'll see what all we've got in our material, in our meshes. I got this. Oh, because I switched this and we're making in the selected folder, this got created in our materials folder as opposed to our mesh folder. But we'll move that right away here. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to save it. I want to F2. I'm going to call this one it's a static mesh, and it is our billboard, yeah, our overview billboard. Okay. Then I'm going to drag it and put it in our meshes where it belonged. And these two items, I don't need to keep. We can delete those. Okay. So now back here, this I can delete. So now I've got this. I want to create a blueprint. I want to put some text on it, and just so that I can then drag out a bunch of them and then be able to edit the text. And so under blueprints, I don't really want it in any of these. I'm going to just, in blueprints, I'm going to make a new folder. And this is going to be for our overview. Okay. And in here, I want to make a new blueprint. And it's going to be an actor. And BP uh, overview. I'll say in the overview. BP billboard base. We'll make it a one that will derive the rest else from. So in here, I want to add a static mesh, right? And we're going to get our overview billboard, right? And so there it is. Now, what do we want to add to that? We want to add some text on here. We want to be able to label what's going on. So a text, a text renderer. So we're going to add a text renderer. I'm going to move that up. And I want to get it onto this surface. Oh, slow. Scroll wheel slows down your camera movement here. Scrolling in and out. Let's just move this up and let's see what settings we got here. Vertical alignment, text bottom, fine. Horizontal alignment, let's go center. And then that way I can center this in the 0 point. And this will be something that we can edit. The text material's fine. World size, let's see. Ooh, it gets pretty big. What was 20? 20 might be a little small. 30? Well, let's keep it at 30 for now. We'll maybe change that depending on whatever we do. Okay, let's compile and save that. And let's see what happens if I pull one of these into my overview. So I'll go into my con. And so this is the base. So yeah, I'm going to make a child off of this. I'm going to call this BB for billboard. And I'm going to say, since we did one of these, a fire effect, fire or area damage, area damage. Okay. And I'm going to, I could save that, save all those. And I'm going to drag this into our overview map, put it in, sweet. And now, so this is our BP. So if I can edit that, maybe I don't want to have an individual one for each one. Can I just edit it in the map? Can I just edit that here? Is that exposed? Well, not as we have it. I guess we didn't put that into our into our blueprinting. Because otherwise I'd have to go into each one of these. And then I could go in here and I could say um, area damage effect, right? And can I add a far BP fire area to the thing? Do I want to do that? Can I add a BP? No, I can't do that. That's okay. So we've got that. If I save that and go back into my mat thing here, I've got an area damage effect, which looks pretty good. I like that. Do I want to be able to just change this text on the fly? Or do I want to have to make a separate one for everyone? It'd be nice to just change it on the fly, be able to edit it right here. So let's try to do that. Let's go into our billboard base and let's see here. Um, Event graph. Instruction. Can I get the text renderer? And I want to set the text. Set text. Would that be on construction? I set the text, and if I bring the value off and I promote it to a variable, and I call this one this is our station title. And if I expose that and compile and save and say, edit this um, in details. Yeah, and then here, if I put this in a section um, in a category called um, billboard details, you know, if I compile and save that, compile and save that, and now if I go into here, drag our billboard base into our map and throw it over here. This one says edit this in details now because it's a child class of that, right? Now, can we? Let's try it on this one first, the one that we just dragged in. And here's our station title. So if I went fire or area damage, yeah, there's our area damage. I like that better because then I can just, what is it? Hold Alt and drag to make another one. And then this one can be pickup thing, right? And then we just drag those things all over the place. On our area damage here, we could get our content browser. We go into our um, effect actor that we made our BP fire area, drag it up, and we can bring it in here, and we can we make the size of it a little bit smaller here? Oh, I should be able to just scale it, yeah? So I'll scale it to 0.5 by 0.5 by 0.5, right? And just put it up on top of the floor there. And if I push run, of course, we're not going to get anything here. But yeah, we would have to have our HUD showing here and everything else. So yeah, let me figure out a little bit more about that. But I think this is a good kind of starting thing. We'll put a bunch of these out, and we'll be back. Okay, so I've been adding a couple of little billboards here to help me recall where I'm supposed to set up. So I'm on my overview map, and I've put my player start directly here, so that when if I was to jump into a new level or whatever, I would remember to set the game mode to our BP of our game mode base. And because once I do that, then I get our HUD showing up and I got my default character. And I just gave myself a couple of other reminders of where to adjust our attribute info, our gameplay tags, where we set our values, just some reminders of where things are happening. And then I created this, one of our first features that we added was our able to mouse over an enemy and get it to highlight, right? And but what I found was I went in this view, right? I would get a double line here where it went off into Zillionville here. And let me just show you what that looked like. I'm going to close from here and I'll go to our post-processing material. I just added this bit here. But if I just come out of here and go back into there, then that's the way that we had it before. So if I save that and go back to our overview map, you see this green highlight. So that is a result, I guess, of this custom stencil value coming out, and it was because we had multiple values here, I guess. Um, its value would have been 0 for that pixel that's far beyond. It came out of here, and if A came in, I guess, greater than 0, um, probably because of some overlappy thing. I don't understand why it was doing it, to be honest. But because of this waterfall, it seems to want to do that. So I just said, okay, well, you know what? The bottom end is 0. So if the bottom end is 0, we want it to really do the post-processing thing, or I should say the whatever it saw, right, with before the post-processing effect. And I said, okay, well, you should be coming to that in that case as well. And then when I apply and save that, if I go back to here now, I don't have that extra overlap. And I think I've got this set to 250. Then it'll give us our red line that we had first started with. And I can uncheck this. So I give myself a reminder here for the enemy highlight that we need a post-process volume on any other future level that we bring in or that we create. And if we just follow the settings that were here, which was basically that it's enabled and also to set the infinite extent, and we needed to set the post-process material to our post-process material highlight. And that's all that we needed to set up for that. And then that works. So I'm going to proceed with a few more of these. But yeah, I just wanted to share that little improvement to our post-process material to solve that strange effect. Okay. Great. Thanks a lot. And we'll update some more later. Okay, so another little change I just created here was, so let me just push play. One thing I didn't like was when you push the player stats, you had to come and move your mouse all the way over to this X button to close it. What I changed it to was that you can click it and you can just click it. Open and close, open and close, open and close, open and close, right? Because that is one of those annoying things that I didn't really like that this button became disabled. So now it's acting a bit more like a toggle. So to make that happen, in our WP overlay, what I did was off of our start menu button, our stat menu button clicked, I did a check on our stat widget, right? If it was valid or not. In other words, it's not null, it's not pending kill. If it's false, then we tied in, like it used to be straight off of our menu button clicked. It was straight into this set is enabled and stuff like that. So I got rid of that. And so I'm going to just delete that altogether here, that little chunk. And I'm going to, sorry for all the zooming. I'm going to, on the faults, we tie in and we create our widget just like we did before. Okay, so none of that has changed, with one exception, but we'll get there. And if it is, if it's not valid, then we're going to call on our stat widget, right? We're going to call the close button, right? Because on our stat menu, which is our stat widget, we had this custom event called close button, which removed it from the parent and then called the event destruct and then called our stat menu closed dispatcher on our overlay. So then on our overlay, when we come back from that, that was here, right? We bound the event to the stat menu closed, and then the stat menu widget called this at the when it got destroyed. And here is where we re-enabled that button. So I'm going to get rid of that because I don't like doing that. But what I do want to do is set our stat widget back to nothing. So basically just don't connect anything in here. And then when it comes in, the next time it gets clicked, it'll see that it's not valid and then it has to create and set it. Maybe there's a little bit inefficient or something, but like I don't see it's a big problem because it's just a tiny widget anyways. So I'm going to just clean this little bit up here. I prefer this functionality a lot more than what we had before. And I'm just going to move all of this, all of this down. To be in a nice straight line. What I've understood was you try to create your direction of flow in the one horizontal line with and just stretch it out. That makes it more readable. This isn't very good yet. We should probably have that over here. And then, yeah, branches are always tough because they do require a little bit of a wiggle. So I'm going to do this, make it equal both sides, and I'm going to move this stat widget down here. So that's a nice looking function. In the past, and sometimes I just stack a whole branch together, right? Because that makes that look pretty good because it's all together for that. And yeah, so that is, I think, an improvement. And if we go, because it's so nice to be able to just, oh yeah, what's my stats? Oh yeah, just click it on and off. I didn't have to move my mouse around or nothing. I just move in and out. Thanks a lot. Let's see what else we had.